Let's have a look, see. And we're on. Cool. Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Spike. This is my stream of Japanese self-taught lessons. So here we are in Rosetta Stone, Japanese level 1. If you've been watching the previous videos in the previous stream, we've done core lesson 1, unit 1, and all of these modules up to the review. I've done these as separate videos, and then a couple were combined just because they're really short. And then I've ended up tracing that up with I think it's a 4-hour, 20-minute long stream where I've gone from literally start to finish, which includes the speaking and review combined in that video. I didn't do those two separate because, as I mentioned before, I was having problems with this program, which stopped me from doing the speaking module and the review as a separate video on Friday, which is why I also on Sunday did the stream as an entirety. So if you want to find the speaking and the review module, they're right at the end of that video. But I think after I've done what we're going to do today, or what I'm going to do today, I might just cut that out and upload it as a separate video by itself, just so that you can access that part. By and large, though, the speaking section and the review section, although they tax you on all of the previous knowledge that you've done, it is just a rinse and repeat of most of the slides in a condensed format, without any text above. It is just an audible listen to the phrase and apply it to the correct image, or select the correct outcome, basically. So it is just a quick overview, kind of verbal listening test to a visual selection test, just to make sure that you're on the right track. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As I say, all of these videos that I've done so far are on my YouTube channel. So if you've missed any of the core lesson, the pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, reading, writing, listening, and reading modules, they are all available on my YouTube channel for you to go and have a look at. As I say, the speaking and the review are part and parcel of the lengthy 4-hour and 20-minute full review and core lessons video, that's inclusive of starting again and going all the way through it in one chunk. I say one chunk, there are 2 breaks in it, one at about a third of the way through and one a little bit later than 2/3 of the way through, just for when I needed a comfort break. And yeah, so they're available on YouTube now. Today, though, we are now on core lesson 2. Now, it says we're in progress. The reason it says that I'm in progress is I've decided to skip the microphone setup today because I just wanted to make sure. I'm a little bit paranoid now of this program deciding to not work, which obviously for my morning stream content, that's just not viable. And also for my learning. I'm learning this language from scratch. I'm documenting my progress. And my aim is to wake up every day, get myself a coffee, get this all set up, and go, and be learning on the stream. So it's my first time going into core lesson 2. I've never seen it before, apart from the very first slides, as I mentioned, from doing the microphone setup. It does the microphone setup, you click continue, and it just goes straight into the first slide, which for this, as always, is your greeting, konnichiwa. So we are going to now reset my score and restart the activity.
こんにちは。
Here we go.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa.
こんにちは。
So I also still have the control to select which slide we're doing. I will be doing them on order, as well as also whether we're utilizing the Romaji English characterization. Oh, excuse me, the hiragana and katakana. One thing I should mention, my generalization from what I learnt about the kanji, hiragana, and katakana is slightly off. I do need to make a correction. All three of the systems are used. Um, I do need to get this right, so let me pull this up just briefly. I did have this ready and I've lost it. So let me just double check if I can. Uh, so yes, here we go. So hiragana, katakana, and kanji are the three writing systems, or the alphabet. So the hiragana, I said, was the cursive. That's usually the more formal. In a sense, yes, because it's the phonetic system used for native Japanese words and some grammatical elements, right? Um, Katakana is the phonetic system that's used for foreign words, onomatopoeia, and emphasis. So we'll take an example of, say, McDonald's, or the stereotypical westernization of Japanese, where we're like a good example what I can think of would be Futurama, the Iron Chef episode, where it's like Ayanaru Shefaru. That would be a katakana if written, or it uses the katakana phonetics to be able um to Japanicize or Nihon size the westernization, the Western words. Um, and then the kanji, or kanji, is the ideographic system used to represent meanings such as whole words or ideas. Now, kanji is co-opted from Chinese. The Chinese actually came up with this characterized system um, for writing, reading, etc. Um, they're symbols that originated in China, and they've been adapted to the Japanese language. They're used to differentiate homophones, and they allow us to represent meanings such as whole words or ideas. So just a quick overview of hiragana. Hiragana is used to write native Japanese words and grammatical elements. Its characters represent the 46 primary sounds that's used in Japanese, and hiragana comes from the simplification of kanji characters. Um, so katakana, it's used for words that are borrowed from other language, the onomatopoeias and emphasis. It covers broadly the same sounds as hiragana, and it comes also from simplified kanji characters. And then, as mentioned, kanji are symbols that are originated in China that have been adapted to the Japanese language. They're used to differentiate homophones, and they allow the use to or their use represents meanings such as whole words and ideas. So I just thought I'd turn around and clear that up on the differences. Um, I learnt this understanding almost directly after the lesson where I started mentioning this. Um, and I've just not updated that information moving forward from learning this language. So again, it's not just me doing this stream and learning Japanese as we go. It's also out off stream research and listening, reading that I'm also doing. So let me stop the auto shutdown on my headphones. I have no idea why it's still happening because I've disabled it so many times. Let's move on.
サンドイッチ、サンドイッチ、サンドイッチ。
Sandwich. I'm guessing that's a sandwich. There
サ
we
ン
go.
ドイッチ、卵、卵。
Tamago. How interesting that tamago is egg. Um,
卵、
I've
リンゴ。
So the lingo must be an apple.
リンゴ
That's pretty cool. I like that. So let's, as we can see, sandwich is sandwich, tamago is egg, and ringo is apple. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Again, I'm seeing this stage for the very first time. When I obviously dabbled a little bit with this program last year, um, I only dabbled in a couple of months worth, and I only got to, I think, module 2 or 3 of the Unit 1 core lesson 1 stuff. So I really didn't get that far. So I've already more than trebled my input and output with regards to this. Like I say, I'm attempting to do as much as I can daily with this schedule so that it sticks. And for anyone who watches live on stream, or if you're watching this on YouTube at a later date, I hope this is helping you to see the system or the methodology, sorry, that I'm using, and that this system does actually work in helping to teach, learn, and retain Japanese. Again, we're at basic primary school level. So
パン、
here's
パン、
hoping that we can
パン、
get to learning this. So
パン、
pan,
パン、
pan, pan,
パン、
pan,
コー
pan,
ヒー、コーヒ
kohi. Oh, so ocha is tea and kohi is coffee. I assume that looks like coffee to me.
ー、コーヒー、牛乳、
Gyunyu, milk.
牛
Nice.
乳、
So pan is bread. Kohi, coffee is coffee in Japanese, just without the S. Kohi, kohi,
コーヒー、コーヒ
kohi,
ー、コーヒ
kohi.
ー、
I wonder if we look at the Japanese, ko, we already know its symbol. I wonder if oh is in here by itself, and I wonder what he looks like. Oh, totally different. Absolutely, totally different to what I was expecting. So ko is an interesting use of the double dash for the character. Interesting. So it would seem that the syllabic component of the hiragana and katakana to turn around and spell these words. Excuse me. These words have their own contextual kanji to be able to be recognized in written format. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I'm glad I looked.
サンドイッチ、
Sandoichi,
サンドイッチ、卵、
tamago,
卵、リンゴ、
ringo,
リンゴ、パン、
pan,
パン、コーヒ
kohi,
ー、コーヒー、牛乳、
gyunyu.
牛乳、
At least having this slightly stricter pronunciation, my pronunciation is pretty spot on. Having OCD, I can replicate things quite well. And I attempt when learning things, as a visual learner and stuff, to replicate what I see and hear as closely as possible, to be able to do what the other person does, especially if they're, in this case, the native speaker. So let's go through that one again.
サンドイッチ、
Sandoichi,
卵、
tamago,
リンゴ、
ringo,
パン、
pan. That almost pan sounds like a pang, as in ng at the end, but with a soft G, if you listen carefully.
パン、
Because again, the tongue is raising towards the back of the mouth as we say that, and it's trapping the back of the throat. And so a couple of the interview podcasts that I've watched on learning Japanese and advice from Japanese natives who are either teachers of Japanese to Westerners and English speakers, or are online teachers of the language. They recommend learning your hiragana, katakana, and kanji characters. And when speaking, it's all about pronunciation. And that's, again, to get used to the syllabic components and contexts that are different to how us English speakers or Westerners speak with our languages, just because it is much more fluid and emphasized language, where the smallest misplacement of a sound can completely change the meaning of what you're trying to say, and either mean something completely different, itemize, or change the context of the sentence. So it's just something to bear in mind. Where do we get to? Pan,
パン、
pan,
パ
pan.
ン、
So you can see that N is a soft but short release, as opposed to that we were learning in the previous stuff in core lesson 1, unit 1.
コーヒー、
Coffee,
コーヒー、
coffee. And again, the elongation or the shortening is also part of the context and meaning of the initial words as well. So just saying coffee, we could say it fast, but because it hasn't got the actual inflection and tone that rises, and flattens and shortens, means that we're probably saying something different, or, as Japanese natives say, with an accent, which obviously is a little bit off-putting, but can also, in some areas of Japan, be seen as quite, slightly rude or aggressive or intimidating. So it's, again, something to watch out for when pronouncing Japanese.
牛乳、
Gyunyu. See how that U for me was a little bit too short there?
牛乳、
It's U. It's got that drop and that fade, but it's hard to double U when you see it and say it. U without it turning it into U, which is OU, as opposed to U.
牛乳、
Gyunyu. There we go. So it's softer and got more of an E sound to the U, as opposed to the OU sound that we're used to. Moving on to the next slide.
男の子と男の人
Oh, we're doubling
サン
up
ド
what
イ
we're
ッ
looking
チ
for
と
now.
牛乳
Sandwich to. Oh, that's clever.
サンドイッチと牛乳
So it's asking for.
女の子と女の人
So now we're doubling up with the two things in the picture, and we're needing to select them. That's pretty cool. Was not expecting this, and obviously the placement of how this has been typed in English is relevant to how the Japanese has been written. So obviously the gapping that we're looking for probably doesn't necessitate how we would read the sentence. Okay.
女の子と女の人
I mean,
サンドイッチと牛乳
see how this is confusing here? Because it's usually sandoichi when it was by itself, but with the to, it's sandoichito, gyunyu, and that slight grammatical difference changes the sentence and how we say the first word into the second. And I would hazard a guess this would be the same if it was the other way around, you know? Oh, go to the next slide.
ご飯とリンゴ
Gohan to ringo. So Gohan.
ご飯とリンゴ
Gohan to ringo. So rice and
男
apple.
の人と女の人
Ah.
男の人と女の人
Oh, we got a double toe.
男の人と女の人パンと水
Pan to mizu.
パン
パン
と
と
水。
水。Bread and water. Rice and apple. Older man and an older lady. That's, again, the understanding is definitely there for the relationship of the pictures and what we've learned so far, as well as some slightly newer things. Let's go to the next slide.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
Oh wow, now that's a mouthful.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
It's got to be down here, right? It's older man and older lady are eating rice. There is.
男の人は卵を食べています。
Well, we know tamago is egg, right? It's got to be this guy here, but we also know otoko no shito is older man, or adult male. Adult male, egg eats there is. So this would have been adult male and adult female, rice eat there is.
女の子はパンを食べています。
女の子はパンを食べています。Little girl eating bread.
女の人はコーヒーを飲んでいます。
A little bit simpler. Again, the association is working. We can already turn around and figure out individual words of the new type that we're being told. Now we've got much more complicated, longer sentence to learn it by.
男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。
Nice. Well, I know I'm probably going to be able to select the correct pictures because of the understanding of what it's asking of me, and I can break down, as I hope you can as well, the components of the sentence with the components of the picture. But the pronunciation of each sentence is what we need, and what the two main tips that were already given: learn your hiragana, katakana, and kanji, and learn the pronunciation on speaking. One of the biggest things that the native Japanese speakers and teachers mentioned about learning the Japanese language is that a lot of people read and understand all right, but don't necessarily speak the language. And speaking is quite an important component in being able to hear yourself repeat what you've learned, to then also repeat taking it back in as information, and to adjust, tweak, and prune as necessary when it comes to memory formation. So speaking is a huge component to retaining this information, which is why I think myself not moving on until I've got 100%, or until I feel comfortable that I can speak clearly the pronunciation of the words themselves and then the sentence as a whole, and to remember the imagery that's associated with it, I think is a better way for me personally to learn and retain this information, learning this language at this level. So I'd highly recommend, if you're not, to also, when I'm doing these audio components, to also state it, to speak it out loud as you're watching the video, if you're using this to also learn, At least that would be my recommendation, having learnt that recommendation from those who teach Japanese, who are themselves Japanese natives. It seems to be their core tips are the most successful in being able to learn their language as a English-speaking Westerner.
男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。
男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。So you're not happy with that. 男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。
男の子は牛乳を飲んでいます。
There we go. That's a bit better. Gyunyu is going to take a little bit of practice, especially going into o nondeimasu.
女の人はコーヒーを飲んでいます。
That one was a fair bit simpler.
女の人はコーヒーを飲んでいます。
It's getting easier to not trip up over my own tongue as well, and the placement inside my mouth and when clipping either the roof, the base, or my teeth, to be able to produce some of these sounds in the order that they're supposed to be produced, getting a lot easier.
男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。
I read too far ahead, and I'm thinking of a prior practice. That's not good. 男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。That's going to be difficult. That right there. 男の子と男の人は
男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。
That's a tongue twister. That is a very good tongue twister. I like that. I hate it, but I also like it.
男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。 男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。
The other thing as well, this is all not just brain memory and information memory, it's muscle memory as well in the mouth and in the face.
女の子はパンを食べています。
It's nice and easy.
女の子はパンを食べています。 女の子はパンを食べています。
女の子はパンを食べています。
女の子はパンを食べています。 女の子はパンを食べています。
Cool. What's this one? 男の人は卵を食べています。
男の人は卵を食べています。
I wanted to say 食べて with卵 instead. That needs a little work.
男の人は卵を食べています。 男の人は卵を食べています。
男の人は卵を食べています。 Oh, sorry, I thought the postman just turned up.
男の人は卵を食べています。
Pretty good. Let's try this one.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
Okay. 男の人と、男の人と女の人は、男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。男の人と女の人は、It's being able to say the 女の人は in a fluid form after the 男の人と, because it's the double to that's harder to follow.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。 男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。 男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。 See, I can still hear there's a couple of the ご飯 and or 食べて, the te at the end, the han and the tabe and the te at the end are a little too soft and haven't got quite the right drop inflection in tone. So that's where Western accent would come through in Japanese or to a native Japanese speaker, I would assume. But again, I'm only in core lesson 2. I've only been doing this since the start of the year, so this is all expected. But at least I can identify where I know my speaking needs uplifting and picking up a little bit. It'll only come with practice.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
ご飯
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
tabiteimasu. Tabite, te, tabiteimasu. One more time.
男の人
男の人は
と女の人はご飯を食べています。
Ooh, made a mistake.
男の人と女の人はご飯を食べています。
Well, I got all of these correct. This pronunciation, I might have to come back to that off stream. That one and this one. Again, I like how they go from simple-ish to a little bit of a step up, and then both. This one.
男の子と男の人は水を飲んでいます。
So we're starting to get into the rolling fluidity of some of the sounds in Japanese, that's for sure. Let's go to slide 8.
彼はご飯を食べています。彼はご飯を食べています。彼女はリンゴを食べています。彼女はリンゴを食べています。彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。
See how sandoichiemasu is not modified by the to after it.
彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。
sandoichiemasu. Sandoichi 食べています。
彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。彼らは卵を食べています。
Interesting, because there's a woman in this picture.
彼らは卵を食べています。彼らは卵を食べています。彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。彼はご飯を食べています。彼女はリンゴを食べています。
お、リンゴ。
彼女はリンゴを食べています。
So the double O here is present, but it's not necessarily pronounced separately. So now we're getting into grammatical modifiers in the sentence as to where they happen, kind of why they happen, and what changes because of them. Interesting.
彼らは卵を食べています。彼らは卵を食べています。
I think you can turn around and move on to slide 9. Before we do, just gonna spin up cup of soup. Immediately drinkable. Oh, nearly choking on a crouton though. Right, let's go to slide 9.
彼らは卵を食べています。
彼らは卵を食べています。
彼らは卵を食べています。彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。
彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。
彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。彼はご飯を食べています。
彼はご飯を食べています。
彼はご飯を食べています。彼女は水を飲んでいます。
彼女は水を飲んでいます。
彼女は水を飲んでいます。
Well, I'm liking that my pronunciation, at least, is giving me the full marks in the sort of 3/4 circle thing that's rotated, the sort of score rotation, which is good. Because then at least it's picking up in the strictness that in this lesson, or in these lessons thus far, I'm relatively accurate. That's good to know.
彼らは卵を食べています。
彼らは卵を食べています。
彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。彼らはサンドイッチを食べています。 彼はご飯を食べています。
Not kalerawa.
彼はご飯を食べています。 彼はご飯を食べています。
Yeah, the A's got a bit of more of a on that leads into that that's more of a hang.
彼はご飯を食べています。
Yeah, it's definitely the tongue rolls backwards as it strikes the roof of the mouth. And the same as if you were like trying to close the throat with your tongue without swallowing your tongue, you know, when you're like gargling something, for instance, or you're at the dentist and you're trying not to. It's that feel with the tongue when it's retracting into the mouth for the hang.
彼はご飯を食べています。 彼女は水を飲んでいます。 彼女は水を飲んでいます。 彼女は水を飲んでいます。
I'm pretty happy with that slide. On to number 10.
犬、犬、犬。
犬、犬、犬。
犬、猫、猫。
猫、猫。
猫、馬。
馬。
馬。
Pretty standard. Neko, I've already known anyone who watches anime or digests manga in any format knows what Neko is. Neko girl. I mean, 99.9% of all animated females are technically shape-based when drawn around cat-like features, which is why they all have, maybe most men actually, but they all have very feline style characteristics with regards to how you draw the skeletal structure of like a face. It's why they have specific sharp lines. It's why a lot of the hairlines come out in angular fashions and stuff to replicate the ears of the cat, etc. It's a little known trick in animation and for comic creation, manga creation, that to draw a person and their facial structure with the little tiny nose and all the rest of it, if you look at them all, they are all actually based on the shape of the cat's features at the front of the mouth, from the nose swoop down to the chin, and then the eyebrows generally tends to follow a cat's eyebrows and have that angular cat ear fashion, as does all of their hair. Little tidbit of information for those who may or may not know. Also, who's interested.
Kuruma, kuruma, kuruma.
Interesting. My headset died without telling me, and yet it's been charged up all night. So, just in case you missed it.
犬、犬、犬。
犬。Dog.
犬、猫、猫。
猫。Cat.
猫、馬。
馬. It's gotta be the horse.
馬。
So yeah, again, anime characters are based around the drawings of cat-like features, which is why they're all shaped and look the way that they do. I'm kind of hoping that that bit of information is not missing from the stream when my headset just decided to die for no reason and didn't tell me. So I may have to occasionally keep an eye on my microphone levels just to make sure that it's still with us, especially if it's not telling me it's switching off and dying. That's news to me. Right, on to slide 11.
車、車、車。
Karuma. Kuruma.
車、車、
Kuruma.
車、
Kuruma.
車。
So that's car.
新聞、 新聞、
新聞、
新聞、自転車、
自転車、
自転車、自転車、自転車、自転車。
Okay. So, you've got all these. Kuruma, car. Or kuruma,
車、
kuruma. We know
新聞、
shinbun. So,
車、
kuruma and jitensa.
自転車、
Jitensha.
自転車、
Jitensha. Jitensha. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay.
自転車、
Jitensha. Slide 12.
犬、
Inu. Oh no. Inu.
犬、猫、
Neko.
猫、馬、
Uma.
馬、車、
Kuruma.
車、新聞、
Shinbun.
新聞、自転車、
Jitensha.
自転車。
I need to redo that because of the first one where I did not pick up my inu. Inu. A little bit disappointed there. But look at this happy chappy. Look at this happy dog.
犬、
Well, let's redo it. Look at that. No, this will not do. We do not move on until this is all green ticks. Always. Kind of like a self-critiquing self-improvement, right? I'm forcing myself to make sure I don't move on until I perfect it. It's a good OCD trait in some respects to have. In other times, it can really stop you in your tracks. But I think in this context of learning language, I think it's invaluable because it's allowing me to give myself the correct information and to know that I'm wrong and to adjust and tweak and trim until I get it correct.
犬、
Inu. Even worse. Inu.
犬、猫、
Neko.
猫、馬、
Uma.
馬、車、
Kuruma.
車、新聞、
Shinbun.
新聞、自転車、
Jitensha.
自転車。
Again, I'm not too sure how I feel about the dog. We got 6.
犬、
Inu.
犬、猫、
Neko.
猫、馬、
Uma.
馬、車、
Kuruma.
車、新聞、
Shinbun.
新聞、自転車、
Jitensha.
自転車。
Need to be a little softer on the sha and the jitensha. It's the J and the I is more of a G. Jitensha rather than jitensha. J is a bit hard and a bit flat. Jitensha. That sounds a little more correct to me. Cool, let's go on to slide 13. 13 is always the unlucky one. Before we do though, I'm really trying to pound through this soup before it gets too cold. God, it's good.
男の人は車を運転しています。
Ooh. 男の人は車を運転しています. Was that 運転して? I think it was, wasn't it?
男の人は車を運転しています。
運転しています. います. Yeah. imas. Now the soup's stopping my tongue working properly. Right, let's give it a go.
男の人は車を運転しています。男
男の
の人
人は
は
車を
車を運
運
転
転
してい
してい
ま。
ますす。
男の人は車を運転し
It's
ていま
male.
す。
It's male. I didn't pay attention. I'm an idiot.
女の子は歩いています。
女の子は歩いています。Unless it's going to end up being that Arute is driving as well, huh?
女の子は歩いています。
歩いています。
女の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。
男の子は歩いています。
歩いています。
男の子は歩いています。
I mean, I've got to redo this one anyway, so, but let's just,
男の子は歩いています。
So the first one,
男の子は歩いています。
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 That's a little more difficult to say, but we'll go for it.
男の子は歩いています。
男の人は車を運転しています。
男の人は車を運転しています。男の人は車を運転しています。
I'm surprised that I managed to get this word here first time round, and it seems to be easy to say in this format, following on from car. 男の人は車を運転しています。女の人は車を運転しています。I missed the O before the 運転しています。女の人は車を運転しています。It sounds a little bit slower, possibly because of the female form in this sentence, which generally tends to be a little bit softer in context on delivery in Japanese.
女の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。It seems like you take more time to deliver when it becomes female intense, or in the subjective context of the language on delivery, as I say. Let's do that one more time. 女の人は車を運転しています。Yeah, I think I got that down. I've got the 運転しています down, I think.
女の子は歩いています。
歩いています。歩いています。歩いています。It's going to be like 料理しています for cooking.
女の子は歩いています。
In comparison to how I'm going to have to learn to say it and to get fluent because of the shape that you have to make the 歩いています。
女の子は歩いています。
歩いています。歩いています。
女の子は歩いています。
歩いています。
女の子は歩いています。
Yeah, not so hard in this particular sentence. Yeah, I think I'm going to move to 14. There's 39 slides on this core lesson, which will be the end of today's stream when we get to up here. So let's crack on.
男の人は走っています。男の人は走っています。男の子は歩いています。男の子は歩いています。女の子は走っています。女の子は走っています。女の人は歩いています。女の人は歩いています。女の人は歩いています。
So we figured out that 歩いています。歩いています。
女の人は歩いています。
I've got to go back and do 13. I do apologize very briefly. This has got to happen. No. This is not good. It's because I misplaced the car.
女の子は歩いています。
女の子は歩いています。
男の人は車を運転しています。
男の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。
男の子は歩いています。
男の子は歩いています。So we know that 歩いて is walk. I can't believe I broke my own rule and didn't even notice because I was so engrossed in moving on to slide 14. Well, human, always make mistakes. Can't be perfect all the time. So we'll just have to repeat this one.
男の人は走っています。
男の人は走っています。
男の子は歩いています。
男の子は歩いています。
女の子は走っています。
女の子は
走っています。女の人は歩いています。
女の人は歩いています。Cool beans. Right. Get a stretch on. Very clicky this morning in the joints and the tendons, popping and clicking away. So yes, alite is clearly to walk. Because we know hashiteimasu is there it's running. But yeah, nice to let's have a look at not amazingly difficult to pick up where it is in a sentence, I suppose. Still not quite there yet. And we'll go to slide 15.
彼は車を運転しています。
Oh, we got to turn around and pick which it is. Well, kuruma or untenshiteimasu is driving. Right? So we know it's going to be this one, but let's pronounce. 彼は車を運転しています。
彼女は本を読んでいます。
彼女は本を読んでいます。
彼らはリンゴを食べています。彼
らはリンゴを食べています。Okay, so just 彼らは and again, boys eating. So why is there a girl in the picture? That's not me picking on that fact. It's just so far we've learned that karerawa is group of boys, right? And it's always shown 2 or 3 guys in the picture. The same with how kanojo or kodomatachi is group of girls, right? So are they now mixing it up where it doesn't actually matter too much? You just apply on the plural of who takes up more of the group? Who knows?
彼らは新聞を読んでいます。
彼らは新聞を読んでいます。Yeah, I mean, that's, again, most of it is pretty explanatory. Agree now, because we've learned some of the grammar, not just the placement, but what the individual words are in the context of the sentence. That's not so bad. Oh, this is getting gold. Still though, I'm a little bit, I don't know, perturbed, I guess, for the fact that this is encompassing all, and yet we seem to have covered where it's only one gender per picture for the sentence that was supplied, and now it's combining. I don't want to say it confuses me, but it kind of does. I mean, I'm not massively confused because obviously it's grouping them together for whatever reason. So is it going to start giving us that more complex? The context is more important than the actual subjects in a given situation when being talked about. Who knows? I'm sure we'll turn around and find out. Let's go to slide 16.
彼は車を持っています。
彼は車を持っています。
彼は車を持っています。彼女はサンドイッチを持っています。
彼女はサンドイッチを持っています。
彼女はサンドイッチを持っています。彼らは新聞を持っています。
彼らは新聞を持っています。
彼らは新聞を持っています。
And there it is again. 彼らは is encompassing the plural of two individuals of different gender. So I'm going to assume, I could be wrong, I'm sure I'll find out through more of these lessons and more of the modules, that this would seem to be more proper in context as to whether it's male or female context in the sentence, not necessarily the person that you're talking about. That's what it would appear to me. The same as how in French, for example, we have le and la, which determines whether it's the male, or words in French are male or female, and you prefix le or la beforehand in the sentence to give that context. The only time it tends to change is when it becomes plural and is le, which is les, not just le. But then there's usually a clue in the word itself of the item, or the subject in question, with regards to its femininity or masculinity, right? Which then affects the tense of the sentence as a whole. Interesting to learn. Let's run these again.
彼は車を持っています。
彼は車を持っています。And to the second.
彼女はサンドイッチを持っています。
彼女はサンドイッチを持っています。
彼らは新聞を持っています。
彼らは新聞を持っています。I'm pretty confident on those. Before we begin, perfect, finished. So on to slide 17.
彼は猫を飼っています。
彼は猫を飼っています。
彼は猫を飼っています。彼女は犬を飼っています。
彼女は犬を飼っています。
彼女は犬を飼っています。女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
Awesome. That one was relatively easy. Kind of stuffed it on the first one because I elongated neko. So I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to go back forward, and then repeat.
彼は猫を飼っています。
彼は猫を飼っています。
彼は猫を飼っています。彼女は犬を飼っています。
彼女は犬を飼っています。
彼女は犬を飼っています。女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
女の子たちは馬を飼っています。
Nice. For anyone who needs,
彼は猫を飼っています。
彼
彼は
は
猫
猫
を飼
を飼
っ
っててい
いま。
ますす。
彼女は犬を飼っています。
彼
女
女
は
は
犬
犬
を飼っ
を飼っててい
いま
ますす。
彼
彼女
女は
は
犬
犬
を飼っ
を飼っててい
いま。
ますす。
女
女
の子た
の子た
ちは
ちは
馬
馬
を飼っ
を飼ってて
い
い
ま。
ますす。Oh, I fucked that up.
女
女の
の子た
子たち
ちは
は
馬を
馬を
飼っ
飼ってて
いま。
いますす。Apologies for the swear, but occasionally they do slip out once in a while. So that's 17. Let's go to 18.
彼は本を持っています。
彼は本を持ってい
ま。
ますす。
彼女は魚を飼っています。彼
彼
女は
女は
魚
魚を
を飼っ
飼っててい
いま。
ますす。
彼
彼
女は
女は
魚
魚を
を飼っ
飼ってて
いま。
いますす。Gotta be the fishy.
彼らはペンを持っています。
彼はペ
ペ
ン
ンを持ってい
I
ます。
didn't read 彼らは。
彼
彼ら
らは
は
ペ
ペンを
ンを持
持
っ
っててい
いま
ますす。
彼
彼
らは
らは
ペ
ペンを
ンを持っ
持ってて
い
い
ま。
ますす。Didn't say the N. Pen.
彼ら
彼ら
は
は
ペ
ペン
ンを持
を持っ
って
てい
いま。
ますす。
彼女は魚を飼っています。
彼
彼女
女は
は魚
魚
を飼っ
を飼っててい
いま。
ますす。
彼
彼
は
は
本
本
を持っ
を持ってて
いま。
いますす。This middle one's quite easy.
彼は本を持っています。
彼は本を持
っ
っててい
いま。
ますす。This one, this end one. Can't believe writing's just been changed to pen.
彼らはペンを持っています。
It's almost ping, as in P-I-N-G, ping. But it's pang, pang, pang. 彼らはペンを持っています。The O actually helps to bring the tongue back into the mouth to get that sound. 彼らはペンを持っています。Let's move on to 19, because that was again relatively easy. I got a feeling this one's going to jump us into the deep end though.
本、
本 Never mind.
本、ペン、
Pang.
ペン、魚、
Sakana.
魚、
Never mind. It didn't jump us into the deep end. It decided to simplify to the two new words that we've just learned without any prompting, just to match the pictograph. And it's given us our classic of Hon, which is obviously book from our first set of lessons. So let's go through that again.
本、
Hon. You can hear the N, the on, the n is very soft and drawn. It's drawn out.
本、
Hong. And you hear the tongue going into the back of the roof of the mouth, up against the throat.
ペン、
Pang.
ペン、
Peng.
魚、
Sakana.
魚、
Cool. Make sure, no, I keep hearing doors. I keep thinking it's the postman because people are expecting deliveries here, and I'm here to take them.
彼らは寝ています。
Oh my god. Right. So I'm guessing Nete is sleeping, correct? So I'm going to go Kara is probably this middle section because it's plural, correct?
彼らは寝ています。
彼は寝ています。
Single. It's got to be the male, right?
彼は寝ています。
彼女は寝ています。彼
彼
女は
女は
寝て
寝てい
いま。
ますす。There we go. Yes, so plural male, single proper female, single proper male. It's either going to be proper and improper or polite and impolite versions or variations of kara and otoko and kanojo and onanoko, which is also variant from onanoshito and otokonoshito, as to whether it's old and young. Man, it's really starting to make me wonder what the difference is. On to slide 21, we're over halfway now.
犬は食べています。犬
犬
は
は
食べ
食べて
ていま
います。
す。
The dog eats.
猫は寝ています。猫
猫
は
は寝
寝てい
てい
ま。
ますす。The cat sleeps.
馬は走っています。馬
馬
は
は
走っ
走って
てい
いま
ます。
す。Bit of pepper stopping me from saying what I want to say.
馬は
馬は
走っ
走ってて
い
い
ま。
ますす。馬は馬は走っています。The horse runs.
魚は泳いでいます。
魚は泳いでいます。
魚は泳い
泳いでい
でいま。
ますす。
魚は泳いでい
ま
ます。
す。The fish swims. I mean, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. I like that. We'll go on to 22, I think.
彼らは読んでいます。
I'm sorry.
彼らは読んでいます。
Are we now getting to shorten script? Because 本を読んでいます。It's gotta be these guys.
彼らは歩いています。
Huh, yeah, okay. So now we're starting to get more simplified, shortened variations of actual Japanese sentences to describe what's going on here.
彼らは歩いています。
彼らは歩いていま
す。
す。It's the walking.
彼らは泳いでいます。彼
彼
ら
らは
は泳いで
泳いでい
いま。
ますす。This is swimming.
彼女たちは寝ています。彼
彼
女
女たち
たちは
は
寝
寝てい
ていま。
ますす。And that's the sleeping. I mean,
彼らは泳いでいます。
we know this one from before.
彼らは読んでいます。
And we know that one from before. These two on the right are from today's lesson. And we're getting to know these things, sleeping and walking, which is great. It's the tenses and that we're now missing some words that we've learned were in the context of the sentence. Oh, excuse me. I do have to say, I am aware though that the shortening of sentences in Japanese, it is a more fluid context-based language. So obviously for us, where we're learning individual words and then we use those words in our language to necessitate what we're actually saying in English. Doesn't always happen in contextual languages where you can drop certain things to be able to state what's actually happening, as if, like I mentioned in a previous lesson, about how Egyptian hieroglyphs work, where you can have the pictorial hieroglyph and it can state almost an entire sentence by itself just because of the way that it's been drawn and what it's actually meant to mean. So when you end up with a sentence, you can have like 5 or 6 hieroglyphs, and you've got a sentence of like 20 words that's fully descriptive from the context of what those pictograph hieroglyphs and characters actually say and mean, with regards to the translation from that cuneiform. So I appreciate that it's starting to happen here, and this is now starting to teach us. So we'll go through these again from left to right, top to bottom.
彼らは泳いでいます。彼らは泳いでいます。 彼らは泳いでいます。彼女たちは寝ています。
Also notice how the program's ever so slightly sped up. There is no speed option for me to adjust. This is just how the program's starting to work.
彼女たちは寝ています。彼女たちは寝ています。
I'm just going on the bottom row.
彼らは読んでいます。
彼らは読んでいます。See, I'm expecting hon or yondeimas to be in there. That has a nice flow to it. Sort of a sort of shape. 彼らは読んでいます。And then we'll go to the last one with our alideimas, which walking.
彼らは歩いています。
彼らは歩いています。Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go to slide 23.
大人たちは食べています。
What is otonatashi wa? Otonatashi wa? I mean, it's eating at the table. Does that mean family? Family group? Who knows? Haven't got direct translations. It is just the Japanese phonetic in English of their language. So, I mean, it's handy because you can at least see the placement of our phonetics to be able to say things, which is kind of what you want, right? When you translate in a language to learn it. But
大人たちは食べています。
it's gonna bug me. I want to know what otonatashi means. Otonatashi. Oh, if I spell it correctly. Okay, otonatachi are adults and kodomatachi are children. Okay.
大人たちは食べています。
大人たちは食べています。
子供たちは飲んでいます。
There we go. 子供たちは飲んでいます。Wait a minute. Yeah.
子供たちは泳いでいます。子
子供たちは泳いでいます。
大人たちは走っています。
大人たちは走っています。Okay, see that now makes more sense. They should probably have led with the kodomotachi rather than just giving us otonatashi, and there is no context and there is no previous. We only know what tachi is, which is group of. So for it to pluralize adults, and it's otonatachi, group of adults, multiple adults, you know, there is table wa. Yeah, okay.
子供たちは飲んでいます。
子供たちは飲んでいます。There are children drinking.
大人たちは走っています。
大人たちは走っています。Adult, there are adults running.
子供たちは泳いでいます。
子供たちは泳いでいます。There are children swimming.
大人たちは食べています。
大人たちは食べています。There are adults eating. That's what this is meaning. Sweet. So now that we've got the context and the understanding with my help of my phone to ask what otonatachi is, I could suppose you could say that I've just cheated there. But when you've not been given prior context, that's the first time I've had to do that in this program. I mean, I would have got it from Tabate anyway, but well, I did. But otonatachi, that's so new, it threw me for a loop. So why not have a look and see what the word means? And now we know it's in the same context. And the language context that it's teaching us is to start shortening things into how we would learn. a language, right? To go from a basic this and this and this to a full formed sentence of this one thing. Rather than doing that primary school kid thing of I have a, I have an apple and a whatever, and I am at the table, and to my packed lunch consists of apple yogurt sandwich. Just little things, little things. Well done, Total E and Rosetta Stone. To slide 24.
子供たちは走っています。
Kodomo tachi wa hashite imasu. See, it starts with something that we know. So again, it's just thrown us in at the deep end. It's something we don't know, and now we just come back to calm. It's what we know.
子供たちは走っています。大人たちは読んでいます。大人たちは読んでいます。大人は読んでいます。
Oh, okay. So it's adult, and then it's being turned into adults and children or child.
子供は走っています。
We've not had this really. I'm going to go through these.
子供たちは走っています。子供たちは走っています。大人は読んでいます。大人は読んでいます。子供は走っています。子供は走っています。大人たちは読んでいます。大人たちは読んでいます。
Again, not too difficult. It's the shortening of what's been learned in Unit 1 and the Lesson 1 stuff, where it was giving us all of the individual basic components, and now it's starting to contextualize and shorten things as it makes things a little bit more advanced and difficult. And this is just core Lesson 2. So who knows what the module tomorrow is going to bring. Let's go to number 25.
女の人は車を運転しています。女の人は車を運転しています。男の人は車を運転しています。男の人は車を運転しています。女の子は車を運転していません。
We have an email then. Oh, so now we've got slight changes to the endings of the sentence. 女の子は車を運転していません。
男の子は車を運転していません。男の子は車を運転していません。
Interesting. Let's go through that again.
女の人は車を運転しています。女の人は車を運転しています。男の人は車を運転しています。男の人は車を運転しています。男の子は車を運転していません。男の子は車を運転していません。女の子は車を運転していません。女の子は車を運転していません。
Cool. So, changes the ending of imas to imasen from imas at the top. Is that because they're children? Or is it because they're more polite? I'm sure we'll find out. There'll be some explanation as to why.
大人たちは料理しています。大人たちは料理していません。子供たちは書いています。
子供たちは書いています。
子供たちは書いています。子供たちは書いていません。
子供たちは書いていません。
子供たちは書いていません。女の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。
女の人は車を運転しています。女の人は車を運転していません。
女の人は車を運転していません。
女の人は車を運転していません。
That last one was not that good. I elongated on this one at the top right.
子供たちは書いていません。
子供たちは書いていません。And this bottom right one really mucked up the ending, but it's picked up the pronunciation of me saying it correctly. But as you could probably hear, slightly beefed it. Definitely beefed it.
女の人は車を運転していません。
女の人は車を運転していません。There we go, that's better. 女の人は車を運転していません。Yeah, that's better. We'll go to number 7.
彼は寝ています。
彼は寝ています。
彼は寝ていません。
What?
彼は寝ていません。
彼は寝ていません。
彼らは泳いでいません。
But he's not sleeping. So how is that the Now I'm confused.
彼らは泳いでいません。
彼らは泳いでいません。
彼らは泳いでいます。
What? How do you know the difference? They're swimming and they're in swimming gear or at the swimming pool. Oh, excuse me. How are you meant to know the difference when you're not being given it prior? That's different. That is taking me back a little bit. But I suppose it's part of learning. Let's figure that out.
彼らは泳いでいます。
彼らは泳いでいます。Yeah, but so you could see my confusion of how immerse and immersen seems to change the sentence totally different, even though immersu versus immersen. Okay. So, immerse is used to describe the existence of people and animals, while immersen is the negative form. Right. So, it's saying there is and there isn't. So, we've got karera wa oyoideimasu. There are people swimming. Karera wa oyoideimasen. There are not people swimming, but they're at the swimming pool. Gotcha. Kare wa nete imasen. The child is not sleeping. Kare wa nete imasu. The child is sleeping. Or there is a child sleeping. So imas is there is, there are, or to exist. And imasen, there is not, there are not, and not to exist. So imas, positive, there is. imasen, negative. There isn't. Very worth noting. Again, the program's not told us this, so I need to go back, and then I need to go forward again, because it's going to be yellow. Yep. What a surprise. Oh, it's perfect streak score. It's hard to upkeep, but it's worth it. Worth it every single time. Let's go!
彼らは泳いでいません。彼
彼ら
らは
は
泳い
泳いでい
でいま
ませ
せん。
ん。
彼は寝ています。
彼
彼は
ら
寝て
寝てい
いま。
ますす。
彼は寝ていません。彼
彼
は
は寝
寝てい
ていま
ません。
せん。
彼らは泳いでいます。
彼らは泳い
で
でい
いま。
ますす。So now we've understood that difference. Again, with the second lookup of the day within 5-6 slides of core lesson 2. That is, again, a little bit of a shocker, but that's part and parcel of learning, I guess. I'm glad I've learnt that, and now I know the difference, that we know what immerse is, there is, there are, and to exist, so there's going to be, and immersen is just the opposite of it. It's the isn't. There isn't, there aren't, and to not exist, in the context of Japanese. So that's how the verb changes the sentence. Interesting. Slide 28 we go.
彼らは料理しています。彼らは食べていません。
Okay.
彼らは
彼らは
料
料
理し
理しててい
いま。
ますす。彼
彼ら
らは
は食べ
食べ
ていま
ていま
せん。
せん。ははは。
彼らは料理していません。
This is
彼
where
らは食べています。
this is where it gives you the description of gives you the picture to describe that there is and there isn't at the same time. 彼らは料理していません。彼らは食べています。
彼は歩いています。彼は走っていません。
彼は歩いています。彼らは走っていません。
彼は歩いています。彼は走っていません。
There is a man walking. There is not a man running.
彼は歩いていません。彼は走っています。彼は歩いていません。彼は走っています。
I can't believe that's how it came out. Again, very. Oh, excuse me. That soup has decided to gaseous escape itself. So yeah, this is very similar to other language textbooks when you start getting to the changes in verbs and adjectives, where you get there is this, but there isn't this in a picture slide or in the exercise or whatever that you're learning. I just wish it had told me that that's what was happening right now, rather than just, again, dumping me in. So, again, I would say this is probably something that's part of the program that people have had negative feedback about prior, is that, particularly with Japanese, it is just dumping you straight into the deep end without letting you know that this is the direction the program's taking you in to learn this. But I suppose having this challenge helps to cement this information and this learning into your brain, rather than giving you most of the answer for you to then just associate that it's this or this by picture. And that's a bit redundant, because obviously you can, oh my god, full body flail at the moment. But this is where you can turn around and start to see that the program's trying to push you rather than give you the answer. Cool. Let's crack on and get into the 30s. So we got the last 10 slides to go. Because it is starting to get on for me a little bit at an hour and 30 minutes of a lesson and a video or a stream if you're on Twitch watching this. So let's crack on. Number 29.
男の子はペンを持っていません。
Okay, so there is not a pen in this picture.
男の子はペンを持っていません。女の人たちはご飯を持っていません。女の人たちはご飯を持っていません。
It's not this one, it's this one.
男の子はペンを持っています。
男の子はペンを持っています。
女の人たちはご飯を持っています。
Yeah, that caught me out a little bit because of the immerse. It's saying what is in the photo, but then the immerse changed it to there isn't. So that one needs to be redone. And again, another dump you into the deep end and catch you out. But again, I immediately realized the
男
mistake.
の子はペンを持っていません。
Well, no, this one's the car.
女の人たちはご飯を持っています。
There is rice in this picture.
男の子はペンを持っています。
And there is a pen in this picture.
女の人たちはご飯を持っていません。
And there isn't rice in this picture. Right.
男の子はペンを持っています。
There is a little boy with a pen with the pen. There is not a group of lady adults with rice here. There isn't a group of ladies with rice in this.
女の人たちはご飯を持っていません。女の人たちはご飯を持っています。
There are ladies with rice. And
男の子はペンを持っていません。男の子はペンを持っていません。
There isn't a boy with a pen.
女の子たちは自転車を持っていません。女の子たちは自転車を持っていません。
There isn't a group of girls with bikes in this picture. Nice,
女
nearly
の
caught
子
me
た
out.
ちは自転車を持っています。
There is a group of girls in this picture with bikes. I mean, in this picture is not really in this phrase, I don't think, unless that's what omot is.
女の子たちは自転車を持っています。男の子は牛乳を持っています。男の子は牛乳を持っています。
There is a boy drinking milk in this
男の
picture.
子は牛乳を持っていません。
There is a young boy with milk here. And 男の子は牛乳を持っていません。 Yeah. That one was easier. But because we knew of the context and how the program is playing the game on us to teach us this in the prior slide. So yes, that one was a bit easier. Let's move on to 31.
犬は走って。
There is a dog running in this picture. Yeah.
犬は走っています。犬は走って。
いません。
犬は走っていません。男の子たちは水を持って。
います。
男の子たちは水を持っています。男の子たちは水を持って。
いません。
男の子たちは水を持っていません。
Because everyone loves dogs, or you should do, even though I'm personally a cat person, dogs are still cute as fuck.
犬は走っています。犬は走っています。犬は走っていません。犬は走っていません。男の子たちは水を持っています。男の子たちは水を持っています。 男の子たちは水を持っていません。
Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll go with 32. There's only two in this.
これは何ですか？
これはリンゴです。
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 これは何ですか？これは新聞です。
これは新聞です。
これは新聞です。
This, again, is a little confusing. The speech back to pronounce this is a little, again, I'm not understanding the exercise too much here. I'm guessing it's close and far, maybe.
これは何ですか？これは何ですか？
これはリンゴです。
これはリンゴです。これらは何ですか？これら何ですか？
これは新聞です。
これは新聞です。これは新聞です。Okay, we'll go to slide 33 and we'll see what happens. Might have to revisit that.
これは何ですか？
Oh, okay. これら猫です。Yeah, it's got to be right.
これは猫です。
猫です。
これは猫です。
これは何ですか？こ
こ
れは何ですか？
これは自転車です。
It's got to be.
これは自転車です。
Now we're starting to get into some more in-depth technical grammar with regards to the Japanese, because this is これは何ですか? Again, go to the phone. Let's have a ganders and see what is. これは何ですか? Oh, これは何ですか means what is this? It would be handy to know. So then we're replying with this is a cat. This is a bike. Fantastic. Okay. That's good to know. Again, it doesn't tell me anything about the makeup of these words by giving us the translation, which I think would be a welcome addition. What is this? Or actually punctuate it with a question mark. That would, again, let you know it's a question rather than just a statement that has no context. Oh, excuse me. At least if it had a question mark, we would know it was a question. We could probably turn around and figure it out, right? Just by going, oh, well, this is clearly the cat. We know what cat is, and we know what bike is. What is this? Oh, well, it's clearly the bike. We then understand that that's the question. So I think the punctuation in this program, particularly for the Mamaji characters and the English, could have done with a little bit of work. But again, this is from 2009, 2010. It's an old program, and for speech recognition and stuff for learning, it's kind of understandable that it was quite a way before proper TTS and speech recognition, speech playback, being able to read with accessibility and all that sort of jazz. So on to slide 34, only 5 more to go.
これは何ですか？
これは何ですか?
これは何ですか？
これは卵です。
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 これは何ですか？
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 これはペンです。
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 これは何ですか？
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 これは魚です。
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 これは何ですか？
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 これはご飯です。
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 Those last two I really need to brush up on. But I do need to steam forward. I do need to finish this because I'm not going to go for a comfort break until I finish this stream, and I'm getting to that point of I need to finish this because I need to go for a wee in the toilet. No. So we'll go to 35. I got full marks on that, but I
彼
will
は寝
revisit.
ていますか？
Oh, 彼は
彼は寝ていますか？
はい。彼は寝ています。
はい、彼は寝ています。彼女は寝ていますか？彼女は寝ていますか？
いいえ、
いいえ、
彼女は寝ていません。
Oh, that's
いいえ、彼女は寝ていません。いいえ、彼女は寝ていません。
Okay, okay, okay. Is the girl asleep? No, she is not asleep. Is the boy asleep? Yes, the boy is asleep. That's what I take away from the translation of that sentence and what it's learned. Let's see.
犬は泳いでいますか？
Hi.
はい。
Is the dog swimming? Yes. 馬は泳いでい
馬は
ますか？
泳いでいますか？
はい。Oh. What? But he is though, right?
いいえ。
Oh no, he's swimming, not has she. Oh, that was silly. Oh, what a mistake to make right near the end. Come on. We only got a few of these left. We're nearly getting there. Nearly getting
犬
there.
は泳いでいますか？
Hi. He is
は
swimming.
い。
馬は泳いでいます
馬
か？
は泳いでいますか？
Yeah.
いいえ。
Yeah. Cool. Let's get to 37.
彼女は新聞を読んでいますか？
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 いいえ、
いいえ。
いいえ。彼女は本を読んでいますか？
彼女は本を読んでいますか？
彼女は本を読んでいますか？はい、
はい。
はい。
Yeah, that one was a bit more fun and easy. I like that one. Move to 38.
彼はリンゴを食べていますか？
いいえ。
いいえ、
Let's think then. This is
彼
tennis ball.
はリンゴを食べていますか？
はい。
はい。
Okay, that's not too bad. I nearly beefed it on that first one. So it's just like, what? Is he eating an apple? No, he's not eating an apple. Not even an apple. It's a tennis ball. I wonder what tennis ball is in Japanese. That'd be interesting to know. Let's go to 39, last one.
さようなら。
Classic.
さようなら。
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 And there it is, 140 correct. We got, or I got 3 or 4 wrong throughout that entirety of core lesson 2 from Unit 1, which I went back and redid. 2 of them were really stupid, silly errors that I shouldn't be getting wrong by now. But like I said, everyone's human and we all make mistakes, and I'm definitely no stranger to that. And then obviously a couple at the end where my brain's going a little bit because I actually really do need to go to the toilet. So I'm going to leave this one here. That's an hour and 45 minutes. That's Unit 1, Core Lesson 2, complete for this morning. I hope you've enjoyed watching this Learn Japanese Self-Taught in Rosetta Stone 3 video lesson of me documenting my progress to learn the Japanese language and understand it, with to being able to speak it to enough of a degree of a modicum where it's not going to be seen as rude on a visit to Japan. I'm actually trying to learn the language to be able to speak Japanese so that I can converse on a holiday, hopefully with my daughter, so that we can go see what it's all about. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to get out to Japan and to visit. I absolutely love the place, love the culture, love everything about Japan, really. The language seems really interesting. The people seem really interesting. I'm constantly digesting anime and manga and have been throughout pretty much the entirety of my life growing up. So it's always been something there in my mind. The history, everything. It's just, oh, what a place. So I think it is really important if you're visiting, regardless of which country you go to, if you are visiting, it's not just the casual phrase book. The locals do generally tends to enjoy seeing the effort made by tourists, obviously. Eastern Asia is obviously a little bit different in its traditions and cultures, that if you don't bother, it's seen as an incredibly rude and it's very frowned upon that if you don't make an effort, that you are just being very disrespectful, and that's the last thing I want to be, especially when I'm hopefully going to be taking my neurodivergent autistic daughter. I don't want to teach her good manners and stuff. I think she'd really enjoy the place, but we'll see. So I've completed lesson 2. I will end up coming back and repeating this as per my methodology and as I did with the first one. I hope to come back tomorrow to do the next module. I may, in this lesson 2 stuff, actually just repeat each lesson as we go. Or no, should I just keep the format? Write down in the comments what you think. If you're seeing this on Twitch, chat it to me live. If you're seeing this on YouTube, then type in the comments below whether you want to see the current format change or stay as it is. I definitely feel that doing this lesson, moving into the next module, and doing the modules and then repeating them back through after the fact is probably a better way of going about it, like I did for the lesson 1 stuff and the modules there. So we'll see how it goes. As for now, I need to sign off because I desperately need to go to the toilet. I hope you've enjoyed this video and this content. I hope that you stick around for more and see where this goes and watch my journey. I also hope that you're also getting something out of this at home with these materials and potentially learning along with me, whether it's at my pace or at your own. The ability to do so is there. Check out my Twitch channel for the live stream of this video before it goes up on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi, welcome. Thank you very much for finding me here. All of my live streams live permanently on my YouTube channel. The links to both my pages are across both. As always, like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, do as you can to help support me. It'd be very much appreciated. I'm trying to build a community so I'm not as socially reclusive, so I can turn around and make some friends, and hopefully be able to talk with people who know some Japanese and actually further learning my Japanese a little bit swifter by having real conversations. That would be really handy. Yeah, find me on twitch.tv/crunk7up. Find me on YouTube at xofficina, EXOFFICINA. All links provided across both pages. Join my Discord if you so wish. The link is there too. And that's it from me. As always, take it easy, stay safe, keep sane, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.